Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Bad Dinner Guests. I am your host number one, Kev. Oh, now I feel bad. I'll be host number two. And here's host number one, RJ.
No, host number one was, I had a SpongeBob reference and I lost it.
Boom.
He was number one. Who was that? He had the hat, the number one hat. There's a listener at home.
Squidward? There's somebody just screaming in there.
Yeah, no, it was
now.
like a one-use character for just the episode.
And Larry from HR is going to come over and have to have a talk with him.
We have an HR?
No, but they do.
Where they're talk about the check I
in their cubicle.
Yeah.
Did you get the memo?
Did you get the memo? What are we doing again?
So,
I cut off this intro.
Yeah, I'm a little thrown. That's because of our new title. I had suggested to prompt me when we were live that RJ will shoot me a finger bang, which was obvious. I mean, God, that's a rookie. That's like the first thing they teach you is you can't softball them in there like that. But we had an interesting. Speaking of finger bangs, we had a very interesting evening last night that at one point featured a burlesque show in which we saw all kinds of things. I mean, I'm not really sure where to start with it. It was a great time. First of all, I had an absolute blast.
At the burlesque show?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you?
Nah.
No?
Not my thing.
I was digging it.
Okay,
man.
I was laughing my ass off, to be honest. But like, would I go to one on purpose? No. It was funny to me, and I appreciated, like, they went all out. Like, those motherfuckers were acting hard. You know what I mean? Like, they were all about the show, and, like, I really respected that. And it was funny as hell to me what they were doing and shit. But it's not like, I don't know, I can laugh at dick jokes for, like, 5 minutes, and that's all it's got for me.
Oh, see, I can laugh at dick jokes until, I don't know, at least 11:30 if I'm up by 8. The funny part, okay, so shout out to my favorite character in the burlesque show, which was Andy Rogeny, which I just props for the name. It was a great dance. That was the one we walked into. So when we walked in, there was just I can't remember what song. Let's say it was Dirty Diana playing in the bar, and there's this dude like kind of on his back doing what would, I guess it reminded me of the movie Showgirls, kind of, just kind of doing like a backwards crab walk on the stage. I wasn't quite sure what was going on at this bar when we first walked in. So unfortunately we missed most of Andy Rogeny's performance, but he's still
Andy Rogeny,
yeah.
And that was the black.
No, that was the dude. That's what I'm saying. We didn't see him really perform because he was finishing his bit as we walked in.
Was I still smoking a cigarette during him?
Maybe.
Okay.
He was the first thing I saw when I walked in.
Okay.
And
I bet he was.
Bow, chicken, bow. But yeah, so how long did it take you to realize you were in a transgendered burlesque show? Was it instantly?
Well, it wasn't completely transgender, to be fair.
Well, absolutely, yeah, it absolutely
was
wasn't.
a burlesque show,
but it was mixed. It was so. Did any of the dudes trick you at all? No,
I don't think.
Because that's one of the things.
I thought they were all but one dudes, and the one that I didn't think was a dude had titties that I saw.
Yeah, which was interesting. Like we saw like nipples and everything, which in our defense,
again, I wasn't even that excited about that. Though.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, but her bit was interesting. She was popping balloons, which is a thing for some people probably
I wondered
really
if
were into that.
Somebody there had a fetish for that, or if that's like a thing, because I'd never seen it.
Or maybe like she just watched the right episode of Bob's Burgers and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pop some balloons." Some listeners may get that reference. That's the only place I've ever seen it. Is in an episode of Bob's Burgers.
I've seen a lot of Bob's Burgers.
There's one where they go and visit Bob's parents, or maybe it's the mom's parents, and they're about to get kicked out of the swingers' old person's home because they won't attend any of the swing parties. And that's when you find out that Grandpa has a fetish that the only thing that gets it up for him anymore is a woman sitting on top of a balloon until it pops. And that's the only time I've ever seen or heard of anything like that until last night. And then when I saw it with my own eyes, she was wearing like a balloon dress. It was very interesting. And
Yeah, it was well
other performers were going up and picking which ones to pop. And then at the end, just everything sort of accidentally fell off for her. Or maybe it was done on purpose. I don't know. Poor thing, she couldn't cover herself up with her arms. There was just
too much
there. Yeah.
Very valacious. Is that the word?
Is it voluptuous?
Voluptuous. Thank you. Valacious. I don't know.
Sounds like something you should put on a
like
steak.
a sauce,
It sounds like a really good sauce. I'm glad we're on the same
Luscious
page
sauce.
there. Yeah.
When we retire from podcasting and start our steakhouse, we will feature a finger bang with a luscious sauce.
the finger bang. Yeah. It's too bad. I'm sure that's already trademarked.
It's about to be. Are you
But
shitting me? I'm on time right now.
we need to make T-shirts. Like maybe the first Bad Dinner Guest T-shirt is just
A finger bang steak
yeah,
with
and
luscious
it just
sauce
says like
all over
finger
it.
bang.
Oh, it could just be the finger bang symbol.
That's what I'm saying. It just says like finger bang with and it's nice and easy, and then the Bad Dinner Guest on the back where it belongs, so I can see it when I'm
Can the
behind
bad
you.
dinner gas be like splattered like a cum shot though?
Yeah, yes. Okay, we are.
glad we're
Yeah, we
on
are
the
on
same page.
wavelengths right now. Yeah,
This is what happens when I drink and you're sober.
It's fantastic. Well, neither of us were sober last night, but speaking of not sober now, the most entertaining part of the evening for me wasn't even actually a performer. It was that creepy dude with the pedophile goatee that I believe was sitting next to you for most of the night, who I watched almost hit on just about every patron there. He was just, he liked it all, which, I have nothing against that. It was just fun to see this guy in action, pretty much just swinging for all the fences. Do you know the guy that I'm talking about?
Unfortunately, I do. I was wondering if you had any like run-ins with him, so I was seeing where that was going to go.
I didn't personally. I watched him try to hook up with two lesbians that were in a couple. Like they were there together. I believe one of them was a performer, and I saw him try and fail at both of them individually, which I thought was funny because they were sitting right next to each other, and so he just went like one struck out, then just went right next down to the other one, and I thought he was, and I was next in line, so I got a little worried, but then the host of the show walked up on the stage, and I think he went to try to grab some cheek, and then I was able to slink away.
I want to empathize with him first, because I didn't witness him going from one performer to another, or as I would say, one lady to another, because the entire room was performers and like us and comics from the show we left. So like, but I want to empathize because as somebody that like every night I go out to have fun, but I'm trying to get laid. I'm not even going to lie about it. I'm not going to say I don't go out and I'm like not thinking about it or trying to get laid or looking for it. That'd just be a straight lie. Like that is how the night, like if it's a successful night, is going to finish. Otherwise, it was like, it was fun. But
that's the determining
yeah, if I'm
factor.
going out and I'm drinking until the bar is closed, I'm not staying there because I want to drink the last drop of beer that the bars legally serve. It's just not.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I'm honest about it. So I can empathize kind of with him just like being probably way too drunk way too early. Just being like, well, one of these bitches.
See, we're a little different there because so you go to the bar to pick up women, and now I go to the bar because the counselor said it's not a good idea for me to keep bottles of whiskey in the house.
That's fair. I don't like to get drunk unless it's with other people. So like I can't sit here and drink. But I could sit here and do other drugs and be perfectly okay with that. It's weird.
Yeah, and that's how first knew I had a problem, when I preferred to drink by myself. That's when, and I started talking to this bartender, Lloyd, that was across the room. But yeah, alcoholic jokes aside, this guy was, and also he was just wasted.
Yeah, he was wasted. So when we got into the bar, you sat down and then Chick sit down like right behind you, and I had to like squeeze in behind her because I wasn't trying to squeeze in between you and the performers. That would have been kind of weird. So like I squeezed in between like you and her, but there was space when I squeezed in. There was enough space for me to stand like horizontal with the bar and not have to be like sideways to it with my like shoulder against the bar. And like
You
I
have
ordered
to
my
point your
drink.
dick at anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I like get my drink and stuff, and I'm turned around watching the show, and next thing I know, like I bump into homie, and so I apologize for bumping into him because that's what you do, I thought. And he like acted like he didn't hear me, or maybe he didn't hear me or whatever. And like I kind of ignored him. And then I was like, I just said I was sorry because like I bumped into you. My bad, dude. And like he looks at me dead in the eyes as if he can see my soul, this little ginger man. And he goes, "You have no self-confidence." And I was like, damn. like I had no idea what I just bumped into. Like, you are way too drunk. I don't know how you could see that through me in that state. Is it that obvious right now? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, fuck, you have a good night. And I just turned around and kind of laughed about it because it was funny as hell. But it was so random.
It's as if...
What do you do to come back from that?
Yeah, it's as if like God just channeled himself through this blacked out ginger. He's almost like a ginger gypsy at this it's like some kind of soothsayer or something. But I didn't know that. That is fantastic.
That's why I said I wanted to save it for. It was just so. I was like, what? What is this? Just dead in the eyes. You have no self-confidence. And like 5 minutes later, he's like, "How old are you, man?" I was like 24. He's like, "Oh, I got a lot of respect for somebody your age coming in here," and he tried to give me like daps and shit. So maybe like he was channeling and has no like recollection of that shit happening at all. He was just blackout like, "You have no self-esteem," and then like comes back and he's like, "What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, man?
You get some pussy?
Yeah. What's your name?"
Man, can you wingman for me tonight? You get some.
Meanwhile, he's got a mustache that reminds me of Kurt Russell in The Hateful Eight. Now, it doesn't go full out to the cheeks, but that bad boy was thick. You know, I don't imagine he's ever had a cup of coffee that he thoroughly enjoyed because he's good, nice. I'm impressed by the mustache. I don't know any other way to say it.
And somebody that can't grow facial hair, obviously. Yeah. It is what it is.
I was jealous. I mean, beard envy is a real thing. I experience it on the daily, constantly tugging at mine to try to get it larger. But, I mean, that hasn't worked in other areas either, so I don't know why I keep trying. Practice makes perfect.
Maybe. We'll find out. You know, we basically started talking about this as if we started for a burlesque show, and the entire night started. I mean, it started at Condato's with Assy McGee.
Yeah.
But after that, the reason we got together was for the open mic night.
Yeah. Which
in comparison to the burlesque show, which was your favorite part of the night?
Well, I'll start by saying the comedy show had much better music. It was only on in between the performers, obviously, but they were throwing down a Rick James medley and just a lot of 70s funk. So right off the bat, I would point to the comedy show. It's hard for me to pick a winner because the burlesque show was such a pleasant surprise. Like, we were there talking with the person who was running open mic night, and he just told us that's where he was going to be. I don't ever remember seeing him there, by the way.
No, he didn't. He said he wasn't going to go there. I asked him to come with us.
Okay. Yeah. He said he wasn't going. See, I thought he was going.
Yeah.
And, we didn't see very many people from the after party over there. We just walk into this burlesque show. We don't see any of the people we're supposed to meet, and we happen to stay through till the end, by the way. Yeah, it was.
I knew we weren't meeting anybody there.
No.
The person that, like, I feel a little bit responsible for dragging us there and then being like, oh, okay, well, this is a little different than I expected. No, Nick was, he recommended it, and, like, when we got there, I was like, maybe this motherfucker was trolling us. Maybe he wanted to send us, because we weren't doing it on purpose, but it looked like we were trying to do a showcase in front of the fucking comedy store.
Was it? Is that what happened?
To me, like, outside looking in, as somebody that's just always negative and has no self-esteem, as the ginger predicted, I was, like, standing there as, like, people were laughing their dicks off, and I was like, this could look like we're just trying to impress dude. But we were all huddled in there, and we were just carrying on a conversation we would have been carrying on without him there.
Yeah, like that.
So it wasn't, like, that weird to me, and I was like, so at the bar, when I'm seeing this dude on stage, like, in balloons, or the chick on stage in balloons, I'm like, maybe this dude trolled us, but they have an open mic night there. So he probably wanted to, like, they like to probably send people in the circuit.
Yeah. I really hope that it, now I'm going to be
he's a good dude.
I've
ever heard about
the lacking self-confident jackass next time I see him and be like, dude, I'm really sorry, by the way, I was just blacked out. I wasn't testing one-liners in front of you.
Yeah, don't make it weird. He probably won't remember it.
That's fair.
Yeah, it was we were really drunk and he wasn't. Like, it's fine.
Okay.
But it was funny to me because, like, I've gone there before by myself or with Rico and never had those kind of interactions, but wasn't looking for him. So it was kind of interesting that just that night it worked out and we'd both kind of, like, talked about doing that shit. And, like, I don't know about you, but I talked to several of the New York guys that were from, like, out of town just when I was at the bar ordering drinks about shit and everything. And, like, they were just giving advice and why they moved and all that kind of shit. Just, I figured it's probably because they were drunk as piss, too.
Right.
But, like, they just wanted to talk about shit, and that was cool as fuck. So it was kind of neat to be there for that, and that's why I liked it more than the Burlesque show for that kind of portion of it. But as far as just fun in the moment, the Burlesque show was kind of more fun in the moment, even though I wouldn't go voluntarily again.
Yeah, right. It was,
still
it's
more
the
fun in the
surprise factor because we went there to just see. I personally, I had never been to an open mic night. I had no idea like what that would be about. I wanted to see what it was like, and I didn't expect really to interact with any of them. It was a small patio and it started raining. People were out smoking cigarettes and stuff. So what it kind of reminds me of, I think I've talked to you about this before. I remember I was filming an MMA show once, which was, I think, 12 to 15 fights. And I just remember after filming those 12 to 15 fights and watching people just beat the shit out of each other and be all aggro all day, I felt incredibly aggressive the entire rest of the day. You know, they say like in football stadiums, they say, you can cut the tension with a knife. Well, there's a little bit of truth to that. Like you can actually feel it. And so I feel like if anything, what happened was we sat there and watched people tell jokes for a good 2 hours. And so when we finally were in a conversation, like it would just felt like a time just to crack jokes, not to mention if this just kind of how we interact with each other normally. So I'm hoping it wasn't any toe stepping, but
it was all organic.
It was really cool to just talk to those people anyway.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I definitely am going to go to another open mic night. I highly suggest it to anyone who wants to go get drunk on a weekday because it seems like they don't do those things on the weekend. But they were good and bad. You know, that was interesting. You know, were there any lows to the night for you? I know you had a little venture that didn't pan out. There was a specific low in mind that I'm talking about, and I believe the culprit to the downfall of our nights is the same person. Do you know what I'm talking about right now?
Pinky.
Well, okay. Oh, so you have okay. Pinky was one.
Who was the enemy of the night?
Yeah, I had a completely different one for a second actually. And I can explain to you. Pinky, absolutely. That's the for those of you who aren't there, would be the lovely pink-haired bartender that tried to beat up our good friend RJ for going to pee while other people were still in the bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what pissed me off the most. Was there was other people in the bar. Can you restate the question, but either do it prior and I'll just remember it. What was the actual? Who was the? I thought it was just the enemy of the night, right?
Basically. Okay. But we had.
I stand by it.
Okay.
It was a long night though.
Yeah.
Let me think back. Enemy of the. We had a cool ass Uber driver.
You had a quest that you were on, and then there was someone who kind of got in the way of that quest, and then that same person.
Are you talking about Meth Mouth Sister?
Okay. Well, there was Meth Mouth Sister, but I was talking about the guy, the bearded guy. The friend zone guy who kind of cock-blocked you and at the same time guessed that pizza was invented in China.
Yeah, Meth Mouth Sister was the one I was going for. He was the one cock-blocking.
Yeah, he was the one cock-blocking. You were going, yeah, and then...
But he didn't want it. He was literally just playing cock-block.
Yeah, he was literally just like, this is my friend, and she's coming home and where she's going to be safe. Yeah. I don't know. He wasn't necessarily that. That wasn't exactly an accurate portrayal of how he talked, but I feel like I'm pretty close.
What you can do...
on the voice there.
In that situation as a friend... is give enough of that vibe between them that you kill the chance of them, because now they're going to separate, and she's going to go in with whoever her original group was, and then he goes, and you're, set for the night more than likely.
Yeah.
But before he stepped in there, they were, trying to hang out with us and all kinds of shit. But he, broke that. It's a sales thing. He breaks the sale is all you have to do. You have to get them out of that mindset and acting like two people hooking up isn't two people. I mean, we're talking about her as Meth Mouth's sister, okay?
Yes.
There was some sales going on in both directions here.
Yeah.
PBR did a lot of work for her.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all. And all he had to do was step in there and break that little back and forth up enough.
And
it was over.
And as much as, we are good friends, what angered me more than him cock blocking you, as much as I like being a good wingman, was
I haven't seen that.
when we were outside. I mean, I didn't say I was good at it. I like it. I feel good when I can do it, but I'm not great at it. And so more so than him playing defense on you was the moment we were outside waiting for our Uber driver, and they're playing some sort of weird trivia game. Remember that? They had like a deck of cards, which actually isn't a bad idea. I think I'm gonna.
It was the bar's cards. Meth Mouth's sister.
Oh.
Was actually a bartender there.
Oh, shibby.
Yeah.
Well.
And I'm assuming what happened, if you must know, was that somebody in our group was drinking an open container on the street, and like Pinky came out and saw those open containers, saw Meth Mouth's sister who bartends there, or no, Meth Mouth. Saw Meth Mouth, that's the bartender.
Yeah, okay.
Meth Mouth was the bartender. Saw her out there with the open containers and the group, and like threw a low-key fit, because that's when they went into the bar, was like soon after that occurred.
Got it. That bit of context does add some to the story. When it comes to the trivia game, though, one of the questions, I don't know if you remember this, was where pizza was invented. And our good friend Sir Cockblock guessed China for that answer, which was, as I think we all know, is incorrect. I'll let you guess as to where it really came from, but
so I honestly, and I was kind of giggling because you probably would have hated me if you would have heard the answer. I was giggling last night because I was like, well, shit, I'm glad he didn't hear what I said. I really thought pizza originated in New York. I didn't think it was an Italian food at all.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
It was something that was kind of thrown together over here. Because you don't talk about people going back to Italy to get pizza.
No,
You
it's
talk
a
about them going to
very
fucking New
different
York.
product. It's a complete. So
Okay.
My inside track to it is my entire family on my mom's side is French, and it was a very big. There's a lot of racism between the French and the Italians, and anybody who saw what was it, the '08 World Cup knows that. That's the famous headbutt to the chest play. But anyway, so when my uncle decided to marry a full-blooded Italian woman from Italy, it was a very big deal. And I remember, not like a very, very big deal, but you know what I mean? Like, he got a lot of shit for it because there's that low-key racist vibe between the two countries. And anyway, so we're going to visit my uncle and his new Italian wife, and she actually made for us Italian pizza, which is not anything at all like you would think a
more
pizza
like a margarita
is.
Pizza?
Kind of. It almost
Like
like
almost a flatbread?
it kind of felt a little bit like a lasagna. Like you weren't like eating
Like
it with
a
your
deep
hands.
dish pizza?
Yeah, it was kind of like closer to a Chicago style deal, more than like the New York style. But between that and then we have Lucky, we have our resident Italian here, because every good crew has one.
I wish he was here.
I wish
Lucky.
I wish he was here. He's working it away, making the donuts.
Listen, he has not been making me enough money. I put him on 5th. Are you fucking shitting me? 3 calls last night.
You have 3?
I think he's like hanging out somewhere else. I think he's like snacking and just like beating off and watching shit. And then like he just goes there and he gets enough calls that I won't be checking into.
Yeah, I mean that's you always just work hard enough to not get fired.
Yeah.
I mean it's not a glorious job.
And he knows I'll take care of him.
Yeah.
Just using me.
Hey, can you blame him?
My pimp hand ain't strong. That's what you get, Lucky, for not being here.
Boom shakalaka. So China was not the answer, and Italy was the answer. And I got I wasn't upset at first. Like, it was very funny to me. I'm like, haha, this dude said China. When I got upset later was, I can't remember what joke that I made. I made a joke to one of you guys, and then it might have been, now this could be a drunk brain just putting two parts of separate conversations together that don't matter. But I hear, either way, what he said was enough to make me be like, I actually walked down to the end of the block and back.
I thought you were being like in a character almost. I didn't think like
I was. No. I didn't need to walk it off. Like, I wasn't actually going to headbutt the guy or anything like that. It just was like, I didn't want to laugh, or I might not have been able to resist the urge to start up a dialogue with him after this point, and I didn't want to like just be an absolute asshole, and then you might go to that bar again and I didn't know it then, but basically I wasn't trying to spoil the scene. I mean, you had put some work in, you got cock blocked. I wasn't trying to turn it into a whole thing. You know what I mean? I'm not trying
I'm
to.
always down to turn it into a thing.
That's fair. Okay, yeah.
If Pinky's coming at you because you have to pee and you're like, this is about to become a thing, I'm dropping the towel. I'm ready. I got your back. I don't need contact. It's fine.
I like that.
But that's just, it's the shots and it's the beer and it's what happens.
But so if I had started a dialogue up with him after he had chuckled and said, I feel like I'm the smartest person here. And it was just a combination of guessing that pizza came from China,
did say that.
and then saying he like looks at us and giggles a little bit, and it says that I feel like I'm the smartest person here, and it might have been a completely different. It doesn't matter what they were talking about if it had nothing to do with us. Just the idea that a person can in 30 seconds say, I'm pretty sure pizza was invented in China, and then confidently look around and say, yep, I'm the smartest person here, is to me a microcosm of what is wrong with this country right now. And you guys want to talk about Trump all you want. You can talk about Black Lives Matter all you want. We are just blissfully ignorant and proud of it. And and that's my lecture for the day.
No, it's fair. I wish, because I keep trying to get you drunk and take you into public, and you still won't go into these diatribes with people. And I feel like that's where you're going to find your comedy.
But my issue is, although maybe the root of everything I'm saying might be the truth, I'm trying to soften it up and tell it in a joking manner, but I just feel that people are too sensitive these days, especially when alcohol's involved. And I'm not trying to get in a fist fight over trying to be witty in public either.
Yeah.
And so I keep my mouth shut.
I'm ready to drop the towel. I mean, with Pinky for real, but with that dude there, it would just be roasting him.
No, yeah, but I'm saying there are people at the bar that if you get roasted that want to get physical. I had a guy try to fight me because the bartender had asked him to leave because he wouldn't stop talking about how his dad knew the founder of the Mormon religion and how it was a cult. And it was funny because at first we were laughing, but then he was like, "No, man, I'm serious." I'm like, "Dude, I get that you're serious, but you realize you've told me the same 3 pieces of evidence 4 times in the last 20 minutes, and like you're just repeating." He was saying like his dad or grandpa, I forget the story. It was an absurd.
This is like railroad getting spread across the country.
Yeah.
This is Indians still attacking the homeland,
which is what made his adamant nature even worse. Where it's just like, come on, man. Like, and I didn't. At one point, I was just like, look, the lady asked you to stop talking about it, and you won't. It's just you, me, and the bartender here. And at that time, it was actually my girlfriend was the bartender. I know I'm a name dropper there, but at that point, it's like if I was basically the help. I was there to stick around in case anybody got unruly, so that way she wouldn't break their skull with a chair. I was usually, I was the pacifist. But, so yeah, you never know. And that's why I don't really engage drunk people. And honestly, I don't engage a lot of sober people either, because I get on Facebook and I read what people write down on the internet, and I'm always afraid. It's like landmines out here. I'm afraid that the next person I talk to is going to be that just blowhard.
So as the expert who's gone out for the last 4 nights talking to the person that's only bartended for a couple years, the majority of my interactions with people have been basically how mine and your conversation's going right now, and that's what gives me hope, is because you hear about the PC culture and you hear about everything, and even the people that might be more sensitive to it are still like, I would never react like that. Like, I just don't say it, or I just don't do that. And I'm like, that's cool. But like have an emotional response to it to the point where you're triggered. I hate the word triggered because it's so comical to me. But there's no other way to because you're not hit. So it's not like a repercussion. It's not what's the, when you hit something, what's the effect?
Thump.
Not where I was going.
Oh, not the sound effect?
Yeah. I didn't need onomatopoeia for it.
This isn't the slam
I can find the word
hour?
onomatopoeia right now, but not the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Good.
I was just practicing for our next open mic night will be slam poetry, but go ahead.
Perfect. We welcome you tonight to slam poetry with bad dinner guests. Lou just comes on stage. I raped a girl in Nantucket. Yeah, I'm ready for that. I don't even know what I was talking
She looked at my dick and won't fuck it.
I don't know how she saw it. I wish I knew an old timey word for like a long period of time that also rhymed with saw it.
My well's dry over here. Which hopefully is not what she said.
Oh, that's one of the excuses that got used on me 2 nights ago.
Really?
Like, no, not really. But
She's like, sorry, I'm all dried up down there.
She's like, no, I'm 45. But
I've had 3 kids.
yeah. I was like, bitch, I know. Why
And
do you
2
think I thought I had an
grandkids.
in? We call you meth mouth. But no, what I was saying is I only had one true argument with somebody that was like actually offended by anything I had to say. And I've been to a myriad of crazy different bars, drunk as piss every night. And I don't have like a filter when I'm not drunk. So when I'm drunk, I literally have to like work myself out of holes constantly. That is what I spend the majority of my time on Snapchat doing, is just working myself out of whatever hole I'm in at the time.
It's a good hobby.
Yeah,
Like,
to get into the hole later.
Yeah, working in and out of holes is, yeah.
I can't wait for the next late night tips.
Yeah, I can't wait either.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sean B. He's gonna have some interesting stuff for us, I think. He always does. He's the
I need
guru.
some Sean B advice.
Okay.
I really do. So I'm excited for it. But I've already told you, but I've decided I'm waiting to like send a follow-up until the day we're going to record that episode.
Yes.
So I'm hoping it's going to be another couple days at least. But I was like, then it'll be like, I can get some Sean B advice on what he thinks to do with it.
Yeah, I like it.
Because I think he can be raw.
You think he can be raw? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think he can be like, realistic and honest with it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Because I thought you were talking about the condoms, and to be fair,
Yeah,
I've never
no.
physically seen him put a condom on, so he might go at it raw all day.
Late night tips will be fun. I promise. Bring this up. We'll just listen to this prior. We're 32 minutes in. Just note that on your notepad. Late night tips, 32 minutes in. Give me a finger bang.
I keep forgetting that's
Since
the
we're
title.
getting into cryptograms. We were about to talk about something and I completely lost it. Nope, lost it again. That's funny. But you had a good time at the open mic, or you?
Oh yeah, I loved it. That's what I went there for. It was just the spontaneity of walking into a burlesque show and then having the drag queen host, who was phenomenal. Like that dude was rocking it. And you know what? It was one of those things where I kept having a thought, maybe this is more about me than anything else, and I was just like, do they have this room this dark in here, is it, this guy could probably trick somebody, like he had the long ass wig.
How much did you have to drink?
I had a lot to drink. No, because the white lady dude like that, I could tell right away. But the host, it actually it took, the giveaway was like the razor burn on the chin. That was when I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. But at first, now granted, I had a lady friend present, so I wasn't going to be doing too much staring. It could have actually been a woman up there, and I wouldn't have been zoned in. I was kind of purposely staring at the ceiling, make sure I don't get caught staring at anything. But
I was pretty comfortable because there was such a random crowd there. I hope I didn't cut off your story.
No.
But I was so I didn't have any problem watching and laughing at everything they were doing.
Oh no,
and
yeah,
normally
I loved
I'm
it.
the first. My one rule is no butt stuff. That is my one rule, is no butt. And I was in there and I was like, this is fine. This is just kind of fucking hilarious. I loved how hard it was. To me, it was the same as a karaoke night. Just the people that are trying the hardest to sell it are the most entertaining no matter what. But the one dude with the wig, didn't he come from out of state?
I don't know.
All the way to see you, Kev?
So we've been pen pals since middle school, and I saved up some money and booked a venue for Monday, but no, I'm not sure, but it's a lucrative business. I went. The only other time I had been to a drag show was a Nina West thing put on. That again, it's funny the thing that positions us straight dudes will go into to try to get we'll literally go into what some other a more homophobical male would consider a lion's den all in the attempt to bang a self-proclaimed fag hag, as she liked to call it. And I never got it either.
So
like
excited
I swung and missed so hard. I got real drunk and used like a cheesy pickup line. And there was a gay dude around to put me on blast.
Do you remember what the pickup line was?
I believe it was something along the lines, because she had given me shit earlier the night about being nervous, and I was not nervous about going into a drag show. Like
you gotta play along a little though.
And then so what
what
I did is I said something stupid that probably sounded good in like a 90s teen movie, where I was like, well, I might have been a little nervous, but it wasn't about the drag show or something. Just just wah, 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 something like that. Yeah, just a complete whiff. But and so I found out that Nina West just travels the world and makes like an ass ton of money, pun intended, just going around and doing those kind of traveling drag shows. It's like their own Barnum and Bailey type, just a Roman. It's kind of like a circus, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a traveling entertainment, like Cirque du Soleil or anything like that. Like, they just post up, do a Vegas style, but travel. So maybe it's very possible. The venue is kind of small for someone to be traveling from too far, I would have thought. We were like 20 people in there?
I have seen concerts at venues nearly that size.
Really?
From like bands from way out of state.
Yeah, but I'm saying, how much does that gig pay? Like a couple $100 like that? Are you going to drive? You coming out from New York for $200?
Yes, if that is your dream, okay. Pay
Okay.
me $200 to go from Kentucky to Columbus to do 20 minutes of stand up. Deal.
Even though, well, yeah, okay, that's slightly different for
if that's it's the same work requirement.
Well, no, I just meant like as far as the distance. I'm talking about physically coming from New York. You're going to lose money to get to Columbus from New York.
Yeah. They do it for the exposure.
Yeah, you're right.
But are you talking about the comedians or are you talking about the drag queen? Because I was talking about the drag queen.
I was talking about the drag queen too. I just was like, I don't know if they would come down to a bar, because you're saying you do it for exposure, but there's 20 people in the bar. So,
right. But there are 20 people there for a drag show.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Like, that is your market.
And the 8 of us that walked in just randomly.
Yeah.
Which your timing on, you're lucky. Maybe you're lucky. I don't know if you would have cared. You smoking that cigarette is really what stopped you from being up on that stage. Like, she grabbed those dudes walked in at the same time that I walked in, and I just, am good at being in the background, and so they got, they grabbed he grabbed their attention, got them up on stage, and some of them were incredibly uncomfortable. That was one of my favorite parts, was the really drunk guy who was like, I ain't scared of shit, or something like that. I was like, this dude might make out with this drag queen right now.
Pounds. He's like, you better be scared of me. I really wish she would have started to pick him up. That's what would have sold it for me. When she did that, that's what I was expecting. I was like, you got to pick him up. Like, you can't, like, at this point, you're just bluffing as much as he was. You got to pick him up. But she didn't go for it. I really think she should have went for it. She wasn't drunk.
I think something would have happened, though.
No, he was playing along. He was laughing, and if he would have fought it, he would have like an asshole in front of his friends.
No. I'm not saying that.
Oh.
I'm thinking like, I've been feeling time, baby.
Oh, you think he would just start making out and be like, oh my God,
I think you would have put
thought I'd be picked up by a strong black woman man and taken like that.
I think there would have been a moment.
My boner just went inside me in the opposite direction. But the guy behind us, I think that's why he was there.
Yeah. He was like, yep.
You're right.
I'm just saying, like, the dude was blacked out. He was but maybe both of them. But either way, that's what I thought. I felt a little connection between the two of them up there.
Yeah.
And I think a young man, a young OSU student, learned a little something about himself on Monday.
Quite possibly.
He may or may not have known before.
So Man Bun at the open mic night. Speaking of that.
Was that his name? Oh, no, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
When he was like, I fucked a few dudes, were you like, we know. I was surprised.
I was surprised.
Yeah, me too. But then I wanted to make Man Bun jokes. But it was just, I was like, oh, that's a strong, like, because nobody, like, so to me it wasn't like using that, like, shock humor. It was like, I liked it. I liked the way he did that.
Yeah,
like,
just
stuck
kind
that in there,
of
'cause
subtly slid it in like
yeah.
it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, oh, it's casual, as if everyone has done that. That was part of the beauty of it. That might have actually been my favorite act of the night.
It was, yeah. It's
What-
the one that I remember the most right now.
One of the things that I noticed, and it's one of the reasons I don't know that I'd ever be able to stand up there and do that myself, is the nerves. A lot of those guys were still going on. I know they're testing out new jokes, and that's something to consider too. They're reading off notes, and he was one of the few guys that just kind of came up, actually had a lot of energy, was walking around the entire stage, kind of used it. More that we heard a lot of the monotone, like, so
Yeah.
I live in my grandma's
The
basement.
monotone thing is really hot right now. And I don't know, and that's in like just stand up you're watching.
Yeah.
But the note thing, I wouldn't hate on it too much because I've seen some high energy guys out there with notes before.
Oh yeah, and I was saying, I mean, not necessarily like, it was just like an added bonus for him. Not only did he have the energy, but he also his 5 minutes were really smooth.
Yeah.
He already had. You could tell he'd been up there. Like he wasn't a first timer. He kind of was easily. There were no There were no hard restarts. He was able to transition from one joke to the next relatively easily. Even the one time where he kind of explained his own joke, he said, "That's a racist joke couched in a pedophilia joke." And that's the kind of wit that doesn't get you on Funny Bone. And so it's like, even then, like that was still a pretty good job of jumping. And that was the other cool part about it. You get to see guys in different stages. Because there was the other guy who was recording himself. And we all felt bad because we were a table behind him and we could see that he had cut his own head out of his recording.
Yeah.
He had a really good set too, I thought. There were a couple of guys that were really good.
Yeah.
It was very entertaining.
The white people crash economy. I feel like I've seen that bit before.
Oh, you think so?
I think he's been doing it for a minute. I think I've seen it before.
It was, yeah.
But he might have been one that hadn't been back for a while when he came out with strong stuff. Because that bartender, I asked her how long she'd been working there, and she said 1.5 years. And like the last time I was in there, she was in there. But
okay.
I don't know. So it could have at longest been 1.5 years ago. But I've only been in there one other time, and I feel like I've seen him. Because it's kind of just out of the circuit for whatever reason.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I'm new to the whole scene, and it's definitely something I'll try again. At least I'm definitely gonna go watch more of those.
Yeah, that's good. I can't wait.
I know you're thinking about doing it though, right? Again, I know you're.
I've been like mulling it over. Lauren like almost had me convinced. Like I had shit worked out and like shit like that, and then other shit happened, and I just like dropped it. But like I've scrapped more notes than I can count. It's just I never am happy with it, so I'm like throw this shit away. But yeah, no.
When you do it, man, let me know. I'll go up there with my little handy cam.
No, I wouldn't even film the first time.
That's fine. I'll just live. Don't worry, guys.
That'll be what I'm playing as I hang myself.
It'll be live just like this is right now on
like
YouTube. I got you.
The police will understand. There will be no investigation.
I can sneak record like no other. You should see the tapes I have in my room.
Fair. I have.
I never was good at hiding other things but cameras.
That's your game, huh?
Yep. Like that dude in American Beauty. Just shooting pornos of my neighbors and trash bags blowing in trees.
I never saw American Beauty. I thought you were talking about American Psycho until you started describing it.
Oh yeah. Well, also yes. Yeah. Speaking of which, I do need to return some videotapes after we wrap up.
No, I have to return some. That's just an excuse you can't use anymore.
I know, it's so just heartbreaking.
Really?
Unless you go to Redbox, unless you're there. I mean, it's still
that is true.
They're at a lot of gas stations and Kroger's.
True. It's only like $2.50 a day.
It's
so you
still
can
there.
Be like, what, you don't have the $2.50?
You know your town hasn't made it up to the next level yet when you go back home and the family video is still in operation. There's no longer 2 locations in town, so they are getting close.
There's a town in Ohio that still has a Blockbuster because we pass it every once in a while.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And it's not
It has to be like a family-owned thing.
It's not like in the middle of the desert somewhere, right? This isn't an
It'll be
optical
a desert
illusion.
in probably 15 more years. The town is like crumbling into itself.
Well, everything will be a desert in 15 years.
I hope so. Trump 2017.
This place will be Mars.
Yeah, that's why I voted for the giant meteor.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah, God had to go do something stupid like promise no more floods.
What a dick.
Thanks a lot.
You're telling me you could kill everybody
You could fix
in
this
a matter
all
of 40 days?
right now. You wouldn't even have to try.
I know a dude named Noah that's all right. He's not a carpenter, but shit, he can build a boat.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably could.
I wasn't even talking about that Noah.
Oh, I'm just any Noah in general.
I could see it. I could see him building a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I'm in. I second that.
Cool.
And we've got this live, so when everyone else, every time anyone else listens to it, God will hear it then too. So that makes me happy.
And then some people might be like crossover from a religious podcast already praying for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those guys, they're definitely, if they listen to that one, they're praying for us daily.
I had to give a disclaimer to somebody today. I was like, hey, if you go to our website and see that, it doesn't mean we're religious. Like, I just had to remember that could be like
It's
the
like
first thing that they saw, and they'd be like, oh.
It's like, don't worry, man.
Yeah. Please read the description before you make too many assumptions.
That's what, there are a lot of things to hate about 2016 and society today, but one of the things I love is like that moments like that right there where it's like the cultural acceptability it's almost like atheists are more socially acceptable now than a devout Christian, where it's like, hey, look, man, don't worry, I'm not one of those guys. And I love that.
People are still completely acceptable of the Christian that has the Bible in the room, but it's the ones that talk about it publicly must be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because they get made fun of so hard. And to me, a
And they
Christian's
apparently
not
don't
that
have
much
YouTube.
crazier than an atheist.
No,
It's really not. To me, just because anything's possible.
Yeah, exactly. As a guy who relates mostly to a religion that doesn't exist anymore, I can't really call anyone else crazy.
It lives in you, Kevin.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
That's all it ever needed.
I am. Therefore, I
Jesus lived
am.
in you. Anywhere that people gathered in His name,
Yes.
that is where the church is.
Yep.
So the religion doesn't have to be anywhere anymore.
The Holy Spirit
It guides you.
is consciousness, potentially.
He walks with me and he...
Yeah, we got to power through and do another Genesis one soon. Now that we're talking about it,
Yeah.
just
It's been fun.
There.
To the listeners that I don't even know if we told them we were bad dinner guests. I
believe we did.
That, but
We'll check the tapes. We'll
Cool.
go back to the instant replay later.
I want to do it like on Red Eye, where like somebody's watching in the background and halfway through gives us an update on like how much bullshit we've spewed. Halfway through the show, Red Eye, they'll just like stop it and they'll be like, "So this was wrong. This was wrong. This was wrong. You said this," and it's just funny.
We need to get Nate is our guy for that, because
Yeah.
half the time when he's on, he's not listening to us anyway. He's researching something else or fact checking what we just
that would
said.
be a good one for him to.
Yeah.
I like that.
He's got a future in that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
we're keeping you on, Nate.
Yep.
As in,
You've passed your yearly review, Nate. So good luck in 2017. We're counting on you, bud.
give it another good one.
I'm happy. I feel like we got shout outs to almost everyone.
Yeah.
Worked into this.
I think I've made fun of Lou, praised Lou, shat on Lou again, made a rape joke in Lou's persona.
Yeah.
For Lou.
Yep.
Could it be say on behalf of Lou?
I
Could we say that?
think so.
Okay.
What I think is that you were actually channeling him in that
Yeah.
moment, because, he's got some hidden knowledge.
He certainly does,
It's that Italian knowledge.
which he shares on his comic book podcast. It's just hidden.
Yes.
Every sixth letter of every fourth word he speaks.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about the symbolism hidden in that Assassin's Creed article he wrote? Woo. I wouldn't even edit the thing. I was like, look, dude, this is too powerful for me. I don't want to die in 6 months.
It's like if you see the burning bush and you're blind.
Or if you like go underneath a tomb, or not underneath a tomb, underneath a pyramid, find a tomb.
Or know something about Hillary Clinton.
Especially that last one.
The most deadly of diseases of 2016.
Yeah. I guess we should talk. I mean, are you a Star Wars guy? Because that's kind of a big thing that happened
I've watched
today.
him. I saw the lady friend died. I'm so like everybody's like, why is so many celebrities dying this year? And like, pop culture wasn't even a fucking thing where celebrity existed until like 60 or 70 years ago. And since it started existing, it's only grown. And as people have eaten it up, we've made more celebrities.
Yeah.
And we're at like the crux where, yeah, you're going to lose a celebrity every fucking week at a certain point in this society.
Yeah.
Because they're all aging out. And at the same time, we're replacing them, but at twice the rate.
And exactly. And
so everybody's going to have one hit.
There's just so many more of them. Like at some point, Vanilla Ice will die, and people will be like, "Oh my God, we lost Vanilla Ice." It's like, dude, you guys did nothing but make fun of him for 30
years.
Justin
Bieber's going to die on the same month, and then after that, some bitch we haven't heard of yet on YouTube who has one hit that everybody's going to see is going to die. It's what it is.
YouTube sensation.
Exactly.
It's now
that dude from the meme's dead.
Yeah, the meme guy. Bat Dad died, which actually, I don't want to put any bad juju on that dude. He's got kids, but. So the one that I want to talk about a little bit, because I've been working on this article I hope to get out here in the next day or two about my belief that George Michael may have faked his own death in order to sell more Christmas songs, and the 2 documentaries he was working on.
Okay.
He died silently at 53. I'm not sure if anyone knows why. I don't read People magazine, so if there's been a release as to what he died of, I don't know what it is yet.
Mm-hmm. AIDS.
AIDS.
You heard it here first, folks.
It's walking out on a limb.
Bad Dinigus, breaking news. We're going to call it early here.
Although, and you know what, but in a more serious note, because I am working on that article and you will see it someday soon. But in a more serious note, I guess, I feel like we should pay a little bit of an homage to George Michael, because in his own way, he was a founder of what the ideals, he put out ideas that...
I know nothing about this.
So he was in Wham. He wrote the song, he sang the song Last Christmas.
Like, I laugh at all the...
You remember the sexy saxophone man?
No.
That was it. Never Gonna Dance Again. Okay. So he was a pretty famous musician, and but one of the other things he was famous for is getting caught masturbating. I believe I think he was in a porn theater. I don't think he was in the...
spelled Wham, I'm sorry.
I don't actually. Can you look that part up for me? Where did he get caught jerking off? It was either, I want to say he was in a rest stop, and it was Pee Wee Herman that was caught in the porn theater.
I don't even think it was a porn theater. I think it was just a regular theater.
Okay, nice. But so in that sort of essence, George Michael is a sort of a founder of, Bad Dinner Guests in his own right, because we would, I want to see a world where you can jack off in the restroom, in the public restroom, if that's what you want to do. There are walls. Just clean up after yourself. What do I care? Maybe. I don't know. As long as he's in the stall, that's fine. I mean, I shouldn't say I doubt it. He might have been the kind of guy to stand in front of the sink mirror and flex while he did it. I don't know. That feels a little more Pat Bateman-y, but assuming, and you are...
Get pop culture references.
That's the American Psycho. Americans, yeah.
It's my autism.
Oh, yes. If he was in the stall, then, he was living the kind of life I would want to live. Who hasn't been on an 8-hour trip and then gotten a text message that put some ideas in their head, and they're like, man, if I could only just pull over at this rest area and fire one off on the toilet.
Keep driving.
What, and just like rub it out while you're driving?
Fuck it.
Yeah. Just catch it inside your t-shirt. I mean, we have options.
You don't carry a tube sock in your glove compartment for this?
No.
So in France,
I just sneak into
public safety laws. Like, you even have to carry a vest. So it's probably like more mandatory over there. But consider it. Just next to your vest and everything in your glove compartment, just keep a tube sock. And in those situations, you're prepared next time, and it won't be... You don't have to put the public in danger.
Oh, well... Yeah, I suppose.
I just wish we did more things like the Europeans is all.
So you're saying I shouldn't sneak out into other people's backyards to do it? Because that's usually I just find a country road and then I'm like, oh.
That's if you're like seeking the thrill and then you don't have a choice.
Oh, is that a barn over there? I bet there's horses in it.
Yeah, you don't have a choice at that moment. That's a completely different kind of like. you're not going to get any satisfaction.
Well, you say that.
And keep it private. I'm sorry. I had to step away from the microphone. I should have finished that. That had to sound like innuendo, come to think about it.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was like, well, yeah, you summed it up.
Video.
You summed it up about as best as you could. We do need video.
It would help a lot for moments like this.
That's the next step to it, but
step to it.
I don't know. Do you? I'm feeling the call. Something's telling me it's probably about wrap up time.
Yeah, I think you're safe. Safe to say that. We do appreciate it, folks. You can check me out. I'm RJ again at 60 Grit Radio, or go to baddinnerguests.blogspot.com. Kevin is at my boy Kev. What else do you have? Because you're the Twitter guy.
It's at Bad Dinner Guests. You can follow all the other shows. There's at Late Night Tips. There's at BDG Bread and Circus for that show. Follow us on Facebook. We post everything we do there. We recently, shout out to everybody. We slipped them all in individually, but I just want to do a little patting on the back of everybody else that helps us, because we have hit over 100 tracks so between the 4 or 5 shows that we have interchanging in and out, we've got over 100 tracks. So
from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, it's a lot more. When we did this thing 6 months ago, we didn't expect to be doing it this much. So hope you guys are enjoying it. We're going to keep getting better. That's the whole point. But congrats to Nate and Sean and Lou and Jarrell and Mono and everybody. Have I missed anyone? You, of course, RJ. Buddy, our homeboy. He's helped us out. So
I think we had Noah on for an episode.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, Noah Nichols. He's an author. Check him out. But yeah, more to come in 2017. That's for sure. Still more to come for 2016. But
some shit could go down on December 31st. I will make no promises.
It is. Yep, that's true.
So, but I do appreciate the faith.
And that's a George Michael joke, and you don't even know it. And that's a good way to end it.
That's how you know we're in the Matrix, folks. Have a great night.